So what does Congress have to do with anything about my local courthouse? Why would Congress be able to affect it in any way? That is because our local courthouses and local courts are Article 1 legislative administrative courts, not Article 3 courts that have anything to do with the judiciary branch, unfortunately. We were guaranteed by the Constitution a trial by jury. This is where the jury decides the facts and adjudicates the law of any given case. That has been neutered, and in place it is called a jury trial. This is where the jury decides the facts and the judge adjudicates the law of the case, and this has been deemed as normal. However, that is not a trial by jury, and it is not the way that our forefathers allowed the people to hold their government accountable and seek remedy when the government itself is committing crimes. So what we have is Article 1 courts. And that is why Congress has the ability and the oversight over those things. Congress is the legislative branch, which is Article 1 of the Constitution for the United States of America. Okay? Article 1, Section 8 gives the enumerated powers. It outlines what enumerated powers are given to Congress, the legislative branch. And Clause 17 of Section 8, so that's Article 1, Section 8, Clause 17, says, the Congress shall have the power to exercise exclusive legislation in all cases whatsoever over such district not exceeding 10 miles square, that's the District of Columbia, as may by secession of particular states and the acceptance of Congress become the seat of the government of the United States, and to exercise like authority over all places purchased by the consent of the legislator of the state in which the same shall be, for the erection of forts, magazines, arsenals, dockyards, and other needful buildings. So in other words, Congress has the ability to be the reigning authority in the 10 square miles of Washington, D.C. So they are the legislative branch, the executive branch, and the judicial branch in the 10 square miles of Washington, D.C. They're also able, and that is why they have created these agencies, the FBI, the DEA, these different agencies who are essentially the executive arm of the legislature, right? And so Congress has authority over that territorial area, DC, okay, the 10 square miles. They also have extended that authority to any, what did it say? Erection of forts, magazines, arsenals, dockyards, and other needful buildings. These other needful buildings are the ships on dry land that we call courthouses. Okay, this is the Admiralty Maritime Law that you hear going around all over. It's an administrative, legislative, Article 1 court. This is why the Congress has authority over those things. And that's the ultimate authority for the legislative Article 1 courts. In our state, so that is why we petition or write or report the crimes to the Judiciary Committee within Congress. There's one in the House and there's one in the Senate. In the very next video, I'm going to show you exactly what I did to mail and put notice of the crimes that are committed by the state scallywags to this very committee on the judiciary in DC. Now, every state also has a legislative committee on the judiciary that they can also be made aware of certain crimes being taken place out of these courthouses. The crimes that I referenced in my previous video are counterfeiting, piracy, and treason. That shouldn't be happening from the government itself, from the courthouse itself, from the police department itself. Those three things shouldn't ever to be taking place, nor should it be the norm, the established norm, the improper training, the established loose culture, even though it's not written out as this is what we do, this is how they do it, it's just their cultural norm. That's called improper training. Anyhow, we have a problem, and we can report those crimes to the governing authority, which is Congress, which is the state level legislative committee on the judiciary. That is why, and it again is Article 1, Section 8, Clause 17. I dare anybody to say that in any given court case and watch what happens. Article 1, Section 8, Clause 17. I bet you if you just say that, you're going to see something that you didn't expect happen in that courtroom. Anyhow, this isn't legal advice. This is just legal education. The Sixth Amendment does protect anybody who does want to give legal advice, though. That's we're free to have legal counsel, but we are been made to believe that we're not allowed to even speak on these things and what have you. So, anyhow. The idea is Article 1, Section 8, Clause 17 outlines what authority Congress is able to have and who may be overstepping their jurisdiction. So, for example, if a police officer leaves the area of the courthouse, which is the only place that they have jurisdiction, because it's a foreign entity. So if they leave their foreign jurisdiction and go out into the city, and grab somebody and say that they've committed a crime and drag them into jail and then put them before a court, they have committed kidnapping and they have drugged them into a jurisdiction that was beyond their own jurisdiction. They didn't have the jurisdiction to do this. And that is outlined with Article 1, Section 8, Clause 17. Your jurisdiction is limited to right here, the courthouse itself. Okay, and the police department itself. That's your Article 1 limits of the jurisdiction. And they are then denying the trial by jury. Nobody has that, and so that's a crime by just simply denying the trial by jury. Okay, in North Dakota, they, in this area at least, are saying, hey, you have to actually sign a bond if you want to go to a jury trial, which will bump you from municipal court into district court. So they are hiding behind a paywall, holding captive your right to a jury trial. We already talked about why that's not a trial by jury. So there's many problems going on, and we just go along with it because it's through intimidation, threat, and coercion, first of all, but then also it's just an established cultural norm that this is just the way it's done and I better behave or else. So, Article 1, Section 8, Clause 17 outlines the limits of the jurisdiction of any given Article 1 court, and it describes why Congress is the governing authority, and we can write and report crimes committed by their subsidiaries to the Congressional Committee on the Judiciary as well as our State Legislative Committee on the Judiciary. In my very next video, I'll show you exactly what I wrote and how I sent it and who I sent it to and all of those things. The logistics is the very next video. Have a great day.